is the new game mode that's going to be coming out. 5v5 has been announced, and we have a little teaser trailer for you guys. There it is, 5v5.vainglorygame.com. Make sure to get on there, sign up for early access. We're all going to be playing it. You might be able to play with a dev as well. Everybody is going to be online once that is unveiled. I cannot wait to get my hands on that myself. And now we wanted to talk a little bit more about 5v5. Obviously, we had that segment yesterday. We talked about some of the concepts. We didn't really get to go into any depth on any of them, though. So today, we're going to talk to you guys about split pushing. Now, I can show you the new 5v5 map that will come up on your screen shortly, and you can see, compared to 3v3, there's a lot more going on. And most specifically, there are now 3 lanes in the game when 5v5 comes out. And what that does is it means that you can split up your team and pressure multiple objectives. This is called split pushing, when you have someone go into a separate lane to the rest of your team. We're going to go into a little bit more depth on that. So Bacon, do you want to explain this concept a little bit more?
Yeah, so split pushing is just one of the many strategies that we're going to see teams try and build around in 5v5. And with split pushing, generally you're going to have 2, sometimes even 3 groups, and it's almost always one individual going on their own. So for instance, on this map, you can see the blue lane. You send one target or one member of your team to the blue lane. The other 4 members kind of group up and start putting pressure on either the turrets or objectives up in the orange or the red lanes. And because of the fact that you generally do this when you have a lead, if you have control of the game, it will almost always guarantee you at least one objective on the map every time you go for this strategy, because it's something that's very difficult for a team to answer.
Of course, yeah, indeed. Those are the ways to execute a split push generally, but there are other variations that you could also execute on in a split push. However, talking about the other team that's going to be playing against the split push, it's very important to understand that to counter it, you need very specific compositions and very specific heroes. Things that have very hard initiations and very hard engage, reliable engage, such as the Lyra, the Ardent Gauntlets, even heroes such as Taka that can go invisible and go in between the 2 split groups to try and force a team fight on one or the other, to force something to happen to counter the strategy, is very viable.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to see what the other pros are going to say once they get their hands on this game mode, and whether we see different strategies going specifically to deny things like split pushing. Now, I want to talk a little bit more. We've obviously just mentioned what's good into a split push, but I want to talk about what is good to split push with. Bacon, what are your thoughts on premium heroes here?
Yeah, so when you look at a hero that's going to be ideal for split pushing, there's a couple of things you have to look for. Wave clear, objective taking, and mobility is another one of the big ones, because a hero like Glaive, for instance, would be an exceptional split pusher because he can clear out the waves very fast with the crits coming out from the cleave damage when he does crit. And when you get to a turret, you can reset your attack animation using the Twisted Stroke and take down turrets rather quickly. And then of course, if the opponent does send like 2 members of their team to try and stop you from pushing, you can use things like your Afterburn to get out of a sticky situation and possibly even rejoin your team to join that push that's going on.
Another factor that also builds a strong split pusher is the dueling ability. A hero such as Blackfeather or Idris can become a very effective split pusher just because of both their good wave clearing, but also their ability to 1v1 any counterpart that would be trying to stop their split push. So very interesting to see what sort of hero dynamics develop as 5v5 comes out, and obviously the pros get their hands on it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what everyone is going to be doing with this game mode. Also, we don't even know what the draft mode is going to look like when it comes to hero picks, so who knows where this one is going to go. But one of the most important things that we have to talk about before we finish up this conversation is talking about vision when it comes to split pushing, because this is the kind of strategy that if you do it badly, can all fall apart.
Yeah, the vision control is so important. If you are the team that is trying to split push, if you are the individual that is trying to split push, you need to make sure you know where the entire enemy team is at all times. Because if you start pushing up and only 2 to 3 members are visible from your opponent's side, the rest of the team, they could be sitting at this turret that you're trying to push, ready to stop you. They could be sitting in a brush just on the other side of the wall and waiting to ambush you as you make your way up the lane. So you need to make sure that you have the vision of the entire team and that the entire team is working together in order to make this work.
Indeed, I mean, building the split push strategy is something that you're going to need to do a step at a time. You can't rush into it. Getting an advantage early on, perhaps taking the first line of turrets that we talked about yesterday, and then pushing up your vision to put it inside the enemy jungle so that you can see the movements of your enemies as you're trying to set up your own split pushing by preparing also the waves that we talked about in the lanes, preparing them so that they push up as well. Coordinating is going to be so important for any team that tries to execute, honestly, any strategy in 5v5.
I cannot wait to see what kind of strategies we'll see, how often we'll see split pushing. Obviously, we're speculating at this point. We don't know what we're going to see, but I'm very excited to find out in the next few weeks when 5v5 does kick off. I don't have a release date for you guys, unfortunately. I'm desperate to find out when that release date is, but I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Now, we do need to continue with the Vainglory 8.